Hey, Ethan, do we have anybody? I see nobody in the calendar for scorekeeping. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
Okay. I might have to improvise here. So, Ethan, at this point, I'm going to keep score.
Okay.
I'm assuming nobody's coming, so I'm just going to get ready. If someone does come, they can take over. But that's the current status right now. So that's why there's a big high mat in the score. So we'll get rid of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I sent out a smoke signal to some Cavaliers to see if they were running around, but we'll see.
Cool. Well, let me know. I have it ready if needed, and I'll plan on doing it unless something changes.
Okay.
And Ethan, everything is 1 point, or is there more than just at 2 points? You'll tell me.
Yeah. So first round, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each
Yep.
category. Second round, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Got it. Thank you.
And then the halftime show, there's 5 questions that are each worth 3 points.
Okay.
So
You
1,
may
2,
have
3,
to
4,
remind
5.
me.
I will. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Okay.
Hey, can you confirm which, if it's on the calendar invite, it said that Agents of Freedom are blue. I don't know which number to dial in for. Is that correct?
I thought Agents of Freedom was red. Was that for last game?
I don't know.
I'll double check it for you guys. 1 second.
Thank you.
Agents of Freedom is blue. It looks like.
All right, Ethan, the game code is 8. I had to update that. So game code is 8. Just the number 8.
What a good and simple game code we have today.
I've never seen one this small.
The game code is 8. So we'll get everybody logged in. Blue and red teams, are we expecting anybody else? So I think we got 3 and 3 right now.
Sorry, this is Tom. I think we are waiting for one more person from the Balrogs.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It looks like all the Balrogs are here.
Okay. And then Sam, Elizabeth, are we expecting Peter?
Yeah, Peter and Jody were going to come, I believe. So they should be in shortly, we hope. But we were emailing with them today, so I think they should be here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
There's Peter. And then Jerry, have you had a chance to log into the buzzer yet?
No. What is the game code?
It's 8, just the number 8.
Okay.
I think I have to reset the buzzer.
Perfect.
I can't buzz. I don't know.
And then Peter, it looks like you have 5 people in here. Is it just the 4 of you, or which 4 of you?
Oh, sorry. I think should just be the 4 of us.
Thank you. You will now be placed into conference.
Hey, Ethan, too, one note, if you guys are having trouble with the buzzer, they can't buzz, just reload the page and try to rejoin the game that's already in progress. Sometimes that'll help.
Okay, hold on.
So basically just refresh.
Oh, you know what? I think, Temmie, I think you're in the room. I think Temmie's coming to view, so I don't know if she's in the wrong spot. Is there the link where she can view? She's our alternate, so she's not playing today.
Okay, yeah, it's in the email from today. There's a YouTube link to jump over to that for viewers.
I can't like refresh. I don't know. All I can do is minimize or it's really weird.
Are you using Chrome or what kind of browser are you in?
I think it should be Chrome, but I'm not sure.
Are you in full screen mode potentially?
No, I exited it
Okay.
so I could see.
Maybe
I'm
just
gonna
reopen
go.
your browser and try again.
Okay.
All right. Well, while we get Jody set up with the buzzer, I will let's just do one more quick buzzer check. Let's start with the Balrog, or sorry, Agents of Freedom. Elizabeth, good. Sam, go ahead and buzz. Great. Peter. Great. Tom. Mazer. Tom. Cindy. Jerry. Cool. So good. Everybody's there. Jody, if you want to go on mute for a sec while I'm just going to go through some of the rules while we try to get you set up, and then we'll check back in with you in a second.
Okay.
Just the, I know this is round 2, so welcome back to these teams. Though some of you may have not been in the first round. So I'll do just a quick refresher on all of the rules and then see if we have any questions before we get started. So today is round 2. Both of these teams have already won victory under their belt. This will be a chance for us to see who will move on to the third round of the winners bracket or the top bracket. I don't know the right way. The loser today, though, will not be out. The loser will go on to the consolation bracket to fight their way back. So nobody's going home today. Everybody will be moving on to a new round after today's match. So really excited to see how this all plays out today. Some reminders of what's going on this year. One, pretty exciting stuff. We're doing this the same as we did in the last couple of years. As far as the questions, there will be 2 rounds of 30 questions each, 5 questions in 6 different categories. Those will be of increasing point value. So as you go through each category, the point values will go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the one thing to note is when you ring in or you buzz in, your correct answers will give you those points. If you are incorrect, those points will be taken away from you. So there is a penalty for wrong answers. Just be aware of that as we go through today's matchup. We'll go through the first round again with those 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 point values. Then in our second round, those point values will be doubled at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Remember too that if you ring in and answer incorrectly, you will be offering the other team a chance to steal. At which point the other team can either use the phone lines to confer, or you can even just come off on mute and confer live and where we can hear you. But the final answer or the choice to pass will come from the team captain. So I believe that's Peter for Agents of Freedom and Tom for the Balrogs. Give me a quick thumbs up if those are correct captainings today. Cool. With those seals, remember that I'll only give you about 5 to 10 seconds to confer, come off of mute, or come off of mute and confer, and then give us the answer. So we'll try to make those pretty efficient today. Remember that as we go through, we may encounter questions that we are unable to replicate here in the TPT arena, at which point we will pull in a surprise substitution for that question and that question only. And then the 2 newest rules we want to cover here. One is that there is a maximum number of times that you can buzz in a given category. So note that you can only buzz in 2 times and no more in a specific category in each of our rounds. Once you've buzzed in twice, whether you've answered correctly or incorrectly, I'll ask you to just put your hands up really quickly as a reminder that you can no longer buzz in that category. It also reminds your teammates and just make sure that we don't have any errant buzzing. Should you buzz in after the 2 buzz limit in a category, those points will be subtracted from your score. So there's a major penalty for those extra buzzes. So make sure to be aware of that. Oh, and the other new rule, at the midpoint of the game, we will have a Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri category with 5 questions submitted by your fellow colleagues. Those questions will each be worth 3 points. So a chance to pick up some points in between the first and second rounds. So lots of good questions today. I'm pretty excited. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. We'll get started here in a second, but let's check back in with Jody. Jody, how's it going?
Oh, sorry, I still can't get in. I mean, I still can't hit my buzzer. I don't know what's going on.
Are you doing it on your phone?
Nope.
Maybe try that. Go on your phone and put in tpt.mykaplan.tv in a browser, and then pull that up, and then it'll ask you for the game code.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got to keep your device awake.
Yeah, the other thing you could maybe try too is a different browser. Like if you're using Chrome, maybe move into Firefox.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that too. All right, hang on.
Yeah, sure. The point about your phone, if you do use your phone, just remember you kind of got to keep your finger on the phone because your phone will pause every whatever your settings are.
Or if you in the settings, you can set it so that it doesn't fall asleep if you plug it in. It might be in developer mode though. This is an Android thing.
I have an iPhone. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hopefully the most Firefox will work. Ideally you can have it open in the browser.
Yeah. Let's go here. Same thing. I just went into Explorer. All right, I gotta try this on my phone.
I'm not sure the issue why you're not able to. What have you seen on your screen? Is it just there's just no buzzer, or you just can't click it?
We'll give it another minute, see if she can get in through her phone. Otherwise, we'll get started in a couple minutes, and then we'll let Jody jump in once she's set up. Looks like that's working. Now if we can just get her back.
I just saw her buzz in.
Yeah. I do not see her on camera. Oh, here we go.
Like trivia live, Kaplan live trivia tournament.
All right, I'm in on my phone.
All right. Well, we'll see how it works out. Are there any questions before we get started with the gameplay? Feel free to come off on mute, or just give me a thumbs up again where I can see it. If you are ready to go, if you're ready to start buzzing, if you're ready, if you're all good. I see lots of thumbs. Waiting for questions. All right, we got some pros here. You're all the pros. Great. Well, I'm super excited to get started up then. Like I said, some really good categories today. I always, I give these like a B+. I've had some D- categories with like 18th century quotations. The poor Agents of Freedom, I think, had to sit through some not the best categories last time I was hosting for them. So we will hopefully have some things that are a little more fun today. Great. Let's see. Let's get started. Again, we'll get our feet wet. Give ourselves a, ooh, that was loud. Let's give ourselves a good stretch. Get your buzzer fingers ready. Let's jump into category number one. Category number one. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 point values in our first category. Our first category is going to be a good old geography category called Table of Continents. Table of Continents. All right. Hands on buzzers, 1 point question coming up. Greenland is considered part of this continent. Peter.
North America?
North America is correct for 1 point. Way to draw the first blood, Peter. 2-point question. We're making this really dramatic. 2-point question in Table of Continents. Hands on buzzers. The continental one of these off Newfoundland extends about 200 miles. Mazur.
Shelf?
The continental shelf is correct off of Newfoundland. It stretches 200 miles. The one off of California, only 2 or 3. Nice job for 2 points. 3-point question coming up. Table of Continents. Hands on buzzers. This is the continent with the second largest population. This is the continent with the second largest population. 5 seconds. Tom.
Africa?
Africa is correct for 3 points. Nice job. Only a couple options probably available there. I'm nervous to ring in, but you got the 3 points done. Nice work. 4-point question, 4 points in Table of Continents. Hands on buzzers. To display the globe without distorting the shapes and sizes of continents, the Dymaxion map was created by this mathematician and geodesic dome designer. To display the globe without distorting, Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't off mute. Descartes, although now I say that, I don't think it's right.
It is not right. So we will take away 4 points from you, but good try. I'll throw it to the other team. Tom, I'll let you all either come off mute and discuss, or you can discuss on the phone. But let me read it for you one more time. To display the globe without distorting the shapes and sizes of the continents, the Dymaxion map was created by this mathematician and geodesic dome designer. Geodesic, it's a hard thing to say. Geodesic dome designer. Go ahead.
Is it Buckminster Fuller?
Buckminster Fuller is correct for the 4 points. Great job on the steal. Also, Buckminster Fuller is a really fun name to say. If anybody's got a little one on the way, Buckminster, I can definitely see that becoming a popular first name again. All right, big steal there to change the game, but we've still got a 5-point question in Table of Continents. We'll see if you can get it back, blue team. Hands on buzzers. With its multiple peninsulas and islands, it has the highest ratio of coastline to total area. Peter.
Europe?
Europe is correct for the 5 points. See, I had a feeling you'd get it back. Nice work. So at the end of our first category, with many, many categories to go, the score is Balrogs 9, Agents of Freedom back out of the red, they're the blue team, but back out of the red into the blue with 2 points. Nice work. All right, we're going to switch from geography and go to a very different category and take a look at NFL records. NFL records. So sports fans, this may be the category for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-point questions coming up. NFL records for 1 point. This 49ers legend has a record 17 seasons with 50 or more receptions. This 49ers legend, Peter.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice is correct for 1 point. Nice job. 2-point question, NFL records, hands on buzzers. Appropriately, it's the record number of safeties by a player in one game. Los Angeles' Fred Dreyer ate up Green Bay on October 21st, 1973. Jerry.
It's 2.
2 is correct. That would make it appropriate. You get 2 points. The most number of safeties by a single player is 2 in 1973. Nice job for the 2 points there. 3-point question, 3 points in NFL records. Hands on buzzers. In 2013, Matt Prater set the distance record for one of these at 64 yards. Sam.
Field goal kick, a kick.
Field goal is correct for 3 points. Nice job. Good old field goal. 64 yards. That's impressive. I actually didn't know the distance, but at least we know it was Matt Prater. 4-point question. 4 points. In 2016, this Eagles quarterback set a record for most passes completed by a rookie in a season with 379. Peter.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is correct for 4 points. It's a pretty recent record. Nice job. And I think that's maybe a 5-point question. 5 points in NFL records, hands on buzzers. This cowboy has the most career rushing attempts with 4,409. He's not a bad Jerry.
Emmett Smith?
Emmett Smith is correct. He's not a bad dancer either. Good old Emmett Smith for 5 points. Nice job, Jerry. Didn't get the Jerry Rice question, but you can't get them all. Nice work. Score at the end of the second round after NFL is 16-10 Balrogs, so tightening up the game a bit. Still 4 more categories in round 1. For all of you, those of you who did not enjoy a good old sports category in NFL records, we'll jump to the other side of the world with a wine situation, a category about wine. So if we got any wine drinkers, this one's for you. 1 point question in a wine situation. White wine can come from a white grape or from a darker grape with this removed. White wine, Mazer.
It's what white wine? Oh man, Chardonnay.
That is incorrect. We'll take away a point from the Balrogs, and I'll throw it over to the blue team and let you all confer. Let me read the question for you one more time. White wine can come from a white grape or from a darker grape with this removed.
The skin?
The skin is correct. It's a good way to make white wine out of darker grapes. Remove the skin. Nice job for 1 point and 2 point swing with the steal there. All right. I appreciate the early buzzing trying to get a lead. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. 2 point question. 2 points in a wine situation. Sec, S-E-C, sec on a wine bottle means that what you're about to consume is, Sam.
Dry.
Dry is correct. Is this other 3-letter word? The word is dry. Good knowledge of French words. You know, I love the French words. Sec, French for dry, is correct for 2 points. 3 point question, a wine situation, hands on buzzers. Originally referring to yeast, this sedimentary word can mean the least valuable part of anything. Originally referring to yeast, this sedimentary, Tom.
The dregs.
The dregs is correct for 3 points. Nice work. 3 points for the red team. The dregs are the least valuable part of anything. 4 point question. Hands on buzzers. As the name implies, Chambray refers to wines served this way. As the name implies, Chambray refers to wines served this way. 5 seconds. Time comes from chambre or room. Room temperature is Chambray wine, room temperature. And quick note, if you're ever serving wine at room temperature should be colder than our room temperature, because room temperature back when things were Chambray was a lot colder in houses. So you should always have it slightly chilled when you are trying to serve a red wine at room temperature. Fun fact. All right, 5 point question, 5 points in wine situation for all you wine drinkers, hands on buzzers. Also found in tea, this astringent should mellow as Jerry.
Tannins?
Tannins is correct. I was hoping there'd be a tannins question. This astringent should mellow as red wine matures. Fast buzzer on that one. Nice work for the 5 points. At the halfway point of our first round, the Balrogs still holding a lead. The score is 23-13 over Agents of Freedom. So we've had geography, we've had sports, we've had wine. It's a pretty good day. Our fourth category is fatherly nicknames. Fatherly nicknames. All right, we'll see what this is. Can't really give you much information beyond that. 1 point question in fatherly nicknames. Let's go. This 18th century American was the father of the mail order catalog and the father of the stove. This 18th century American was the father of the mail order catalog and the father of the stove. 5 seconds. Time. Pretty famous 18th century American. The Franklin stove. Franklin was the father of the mail order catalog and the father of the stove. Okay, so these are fathers of things, I guess. 2-point question. See if we can do better on this one. 2-point question in fatherly nicknames. This French novelist who predicted space travel in his stories has been called the father of science fiction. Tom.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne is the correct answer for 2 points. Nice job. The father of science fiction, Jules Verne, for 2 points. 3-point question in fatherly nicknames. Hands on buzzers. Let's tip one in honor of this brewer, the father of the American Revolution. Let's tip one in honor of Jody. Come off the mute for me.
I'm sorry. I'm probably wrong on this now that I think about it, but Sam Adams.
Sam Adams was the father of the American Revolution and famous brewer. Nice job for 3 points. No
Living in Boston helped.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a 4-point question in fatherly nicknames. Hands on buzzers. This father of the cylinder lock located his company in Stamford, Connecticut, not New Haven. This father of the cylinder lock located his company, Tom.
Yale.
Yale is correct. Good job on the reading between the lines on that one. The father of the cylinder lock located his company in Stamford, not New Haven. That was Yale. All right. Tom, I think, are you off now? Was that 2 in this category? Okay, good. 5-point question. 5 points in fatherly nicknames. Hands on buzzers. I need first and last name on this one, by the way. A Harvard professor, this brother of novelist Henry, is known as the father of American psychology. A Harvard professor, this brother of novelist Henry, is known as the father of American psychology. 5 seconds. Time. Oh, Elizabeth.
Robert James.
Robert James is incorrect. I will throw it to the other team. I'll read it for you one more time, red team, and then we'll let Tom answer. A Harvard professor, this brother of novelist Henry, is also known as the father of American psychology.
We're going to pass.
You're going to pass. First name we were looking for, Elizabeth, was William James. William James. You got the last name right. But Robert, no. William, yes. Good. I think that's a good attempt. I like it. All right. We've got 4 categories down. Scores 29-11. 2 categories left in our first round. Our next category is, and I said these are really good categories. This one's maybe not as good. It is 19th century literature. 19th century literature. That's your book knowledge, but this would not have been my best category of this game. All right, 2-point question, or sorry, yeah, 1-point question. 1-point question in 19th century literature. 1 point. 1836's O.T., A Danish Romance, is a grown-up novel by this man who'd soon turn his hand to fairy tales. 1836's O.T., A Danish Romance. Sam.
Andersen.
Hans Christian Andersen is correct for 1 point. Only so many Danish fairy tale writers, right? Hans Christian Andersen is correct for 1 point. 2-point question in 18th century or 19th century lit. That's the 1800s for those of you at home. We'll clear it, Peter. Don't worry. I'm not going to force you to buzz that one. All right, 2-point question. Monsieur Lecoq, about a Paris cop solving a mystery, is one of the earliest of this type of novel, also Lecoq's Job. Monsieur Lecoq, about a Paris cop solving a mystery. Elizabeth.
Detective?
A detective novel is correct for 2 points. Nice job. Monsieur Lecoq, one of the first detective novels. 3-point question in 19th century lit. Hands on buzzers. Known for his gloomy novels, this Brit also published 9 volumes of rhyming verse starting in 1898. Known for his gloomy novels, This Brit also published 9 volumes of rhyming verse starting in 1898. 5 seconds. Time. There's triple stumper on the show too. Nobody got it. Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy is the Brit author we were looking for. Little Thomas Hardy and his gloomy novels. 19th century lit for 4 points. 4 points in 19th century lit. Hands on buzzers. This author created the noble Indian Uncas and the slimy Indian Magua. This author created the noble Indian Uncas and the slimy Indian Magua. 5 seconds. Time. Also turned into a great 20th century film, Last of the Mohicans, written by James Fenimore Cooper. James Fenimore Cooper.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course, James Fenimore Cooper, right? How many Native American great novels of the 19th century were there? Last one, 19th century lit. 19th century lit for 5 points. Hands on buzzers. This old Ironsides poet was also a doctor. You might recall that his son became a lawyer. This old Ironsides poet was also a doctor. You might recall that his son became a lawyer. 5 seconds. Time. I said it was a hard category, but it was actually more than a lawyer. He was a Supreme Court justice. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Oliver Wendell Holmes, the old Ironsides poet. All right. Well, we made it through. That was 5 questions about 19th century lit. We got 1 category left. Score is 29-14 in our first round. Remember, there's still a lot of points to be had in round 2, but we got 1 more category here. And our last category is get a clue. Get a clue. And I'll tell you, CL is in quotation marks. CL, meaning each of the correct answers here will begin with the letters CL. CL. Okay. Hands on buzzers for the 1-point question. This is an 11-letter word meaning without a beard or mustache. This, Sam.
Clean shaven.
Something you are not is clean shaven for 1 point. Nice job. I was wondering if somebody bearded would get that one. 2-point question in Get a Clue. 2-point question in Get a Clue. Again, starting with the letters CL. And this is a surprise substitution. A surprise substitution, which means dancing taco, dancing taco, dancing taco. Surprise substitution. We're going to jump out of Get a Clue in our CL answers. And we are going to jump into a quick question from a different category. And the category for this 1 question and 1 question only for 2 points is word origins. Word origins. Okay. 1 question here, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled category. But here we go in word origins for 2 points. Hands on buzzers. Like the name of a minor Roman god, this word for a caretaker comes from the Latin for door. Like the name of a minor Roman god, this word for a caretaker comes from the Latin for door. 5 seconds. Elizabeth.
Porter.
It's a good guess. It's incorrect. That was actually the answer I went up with 2. Porter is incorrect, so we'll take away 2 points from Agents of Freedom. I'll read the clue 1 more time for the Tom and the Red team, and they can decide whether to go after it or pass. Like the name of a minor Roman god, this word for caretaker comes from the Latin for door.
We're going to pass.
Going to pass. Yeah, I think this is a tough question. The correct answer was janitor, from the Roman god Janus. Janitor. Yeah, see, Romance languages would not help you here if you thought it was the word porter. But alas, we've got a 3-point question. Just got to find it. 3-point question back in Get a Clue. Again, reminder, correct answers here starting with the letters CL. 3-point question. Let's go. Hands on buzzers. A brood of chickens or a strapless purse that a woman might keep a good grip on. Tom.
Clutch.
And that was a clutch answer for 3 points. Nice work. 4-point question coming up in CL. Get a clue. Let's clear the buzzer. There we go. 4-point question. Scones are traditionally served with this thick cream. Elizabeth.
Clotted.
Clotted cream is correct for 4 points. Nice job, Elizabeth. And our final question in round 1 for 5 points and get a clue, starting with CL. He became emperor of Rome after Caligula was murdered. Tom.
Claudius.
Claudius is correct for 5 points. Nice work. We got a really good game here. After 6 categories and after our whole first round, score is Balrogs 37, Agents of Freedom 17. Still many points to be had. We're going to jump into our Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri, featuring 5 different questions from a variety of different sources across Kaplan. As a reminder, we encourage you all, even those playing the game, to submit questions and answers for our games. We will make sure that you don't get your own questions. That would be cheating. But yes, feel free to add more questions. We really appreciate all the people who have been submitting them. Each of these are worth 3 points. There's no increasing point value here at halftime in Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. But let's see where these 5 questions came from and what we can learn from them today. First question coming up for 3 points. Hands on buzzers. The Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor Oscar winners for 1959 all came out of this blockbuster epic. The Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Peter.
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind is incorrect. We'll take away 3 points from the blue team. I'll read it one more time for the red team, see if they can grab these 3 points. The Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor Oscar winners for 1959 all came out of this blockbuster epic.
We're going to pass.
The Balrogs will pass. Passing on these steals. It is Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur was the blockbuster epic from 1959. Gone with the Wind a little bit earlier, but Ben-Hur was the one we were looking for. All right, another 3-point question, another 3 points here in Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. He was the last presidential candidate to lose his home state in the November general election. He was the most recent presidential candidate to lose his home state in the November general election. Mazur.
Trump.
Trump is correct for 3 points. Nice work. So another 3-point question for you. Another 3-point question. This one's going to go back to sports for us. With 7 in his career, this pitcher has thrown the most all-time no-hitters in Major League Baseball. With 7 in his career, this pitcher has thrown the most all-time no-hitters. And Cindy.
Sandy Koufax?
Sandy Koufax is incorrect. We'll have to take away 3 points. It's a good guess. I'll throw it over to the other team and to the blue team and Peter. With 7 in his career, this pitcher has thrown the most all-time no-hitters in Major League Baseball.
We're going to pass.
Going to pass. Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan still holds the record for the most no-hitters in Major League Baseball. Good stumper on that one. And we got 2 more questions here in Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. Hands on buzzers. An infamous drunkard. Hopefully that's not describing anyone here. An infamous drunkard, Sir John A. Macdonald, was the first prime minister of this country. An infamous drunkard, Sir John A. Macdonald, was the first prime minister of this country. 5 seconds. Tom.
Australia.
Australia is incorrect. Take away 3 points. I like all these guesses, though. I'll throw it to the other team and Peter. An infamous drunkard, Sir John A. Macdonald, was the first prime minister of this country.
We're going to pass again.
Gonna pass. I'm sure somebody on your team wanted you to say Canada, and Canada would have been correct for 3 points. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. All right. We got one more question in Kaplan Crowdsource Potpourri and the buzzers. This constitutional monarchy is led not by a king or queen, but by a Grand Duke, Henri, a cousin of King Philippe of neighboring Belgium. This constitutional monarchy is led not by a king or queen. Tom.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg is correct for 3 points. Way to know your Grand Dukies, constitutional monarchies of Western Europe. At the end of our halftime show, the score is 37-14. Still some ground to make up for Agents of Freedom. Lots of good answers, both incorrect and correct. Just that the correct ones get you more points. We've got 6 more rounds to go, 5 questions each. Point values are doubled. My patience is halved. We'll see what we get. Hey, if you weren't sick of literature from the first round, we've got more literature here in the second round. All right. Hands on buzzers. Our first 2-point question in our first category in round 2 is literary lines. Literary lines, some famous lines from some literature. All right. Big stretch again. 6 more categories to go. Literary lines, 2 points. The last chapter of this Charlotte Bronte novel begins, "Reader, I married him." Sam.
Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre is the Charlotte Bronte novel. Way to know your Bronte sisters. Jane Eyre is the correct Charlotte Bronte novel. Great work. 4-point question. Yes, 4-point question in literary lines. I got to keep these points straight. This novel says, "The books went up in sparkling whirls and blew away on a wind turned dark with burning." Elizabeth.
Fahrenheit 51. 451.
Fahrenheit 451 is correct. I'll give it to you on the correction. Fahrenheit 451 is a good tale of book burning and is correct for 4 points. There's no good tales of book burning. 6-point question, literary lines, hands on buzzers. The first line of this novel says, "It was Wang Lung's marriage day." The first line of this novel says, Tom.
The Good Earth.
The Good Earth is correct for 6 points. Triple stumper on test day, but "It was Wang Lung's marriage day" is the first line of The Good Earth. Nice job for 6 points. 8-point question, literary lines. This 1852 book says, "I would rather not sell him. I'm a humane man and I hate to take the boy from his mother." This 1852 book says, "I would rather not sell him. I'm a humane man and I hate to take the boy from his mother." Sam.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is correct, right? Reading between the lines there. Good work with the context. It is Uncle Tom's Cabin. Way to go for 8 points. And a big 10-point question. 10 points, literary lines.
We just lost someone from the room. Is it possible to pause for a second? We lost Elizabeth.
Yep. Okay. We'll do a quick pause. We're pausing and waiting and pausing and waiting. 43-28 is the score in the game. Yeah, it's not that great of a song. Could use like some accompaniment, vocals, anything. What are you gonna do? We're on a low budget here at TPT. Like if I could throw it to a band, you know, like on like the late night shows, have like a trombone player, do something. Anybody got a trombone? They can pull out.
Okay, I think she's back.
All right. I'm still really waiting for you. Elizabeth, you don't have a trombone with you? All right, well, whatever. Back to the game. Again, 43-28. We're in our big 10-point question. So good thing you're back, Elizabeth. 10-point question in literary lines, hands on buzzers. He wrote, all happy families are like one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy. Tom.
Tolstoy.
Tolstoy is correct. Good old Anna Karenina. All happy families are like one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Nice job for 10 points. I had a feeling that one would pick up some points for us. At the end of the first category of our second round, the score is 53-28. Still a great game here between the Balrogs and Agents of Freedom. Second category, scary starts. Scary Starts, about actors who got their starts in horror movies. So moving into the movie field. Scary Starts. Hands on buzzers. In 1980, with Halloween in the bag, she starred in The Fog, Prom Night, and Elizabeth.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis is correct. She did not star in a movie called Elizabeth. She starred in The Fog, Prom Night, and Terror Train, just to be clear. Nice job for 2 points. 4-point question. Scary Starts. 4 points. 1975 was a big year for him. He appeared in The Devil's Reign and then got the role of TV sweat hog Vinnie Barbarino. Cindy.
John Travolta.
John Travolta is correct for 4 points. Nice work. He was the sweat hog Vinnie Barbarino. 6-point question. 6 points. Scary Starts. Hands on buzzers. His first film role was in 1981's The Burning. The role of George Costanza would come a decade later. Mazur.
Who's Jason Alexander?
Jason Alexander is correct for the 6-point question here. Nice work. 8 points coming up in Scary Starts. Who knew all these people started in horror? 8 points. Long before she got knocked up, she appeared in Bride of Chucky. Sam.
Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl is correct for 8 points. I knew you were a big Katherine Heigl fan. You just love those rom-coms, right? Good work for 8 points with Katherine Heigl. I can never remember her name whenever she comes up in trivia. 10-point question. 10 points in Scary Starts. Hands on buzzers. Big points here. After appearing in Return to Horror High and Return of the Killer Tomatoes, he luckily got a trip to the ER. After appearing, Peter.
George Clooney.
Clooney, totally Clooney. Nice work for the 10 points for Agents of Freedom. He appeared in Return to Horror High, Return of the Killer Tomatoes, and then went on to ER. He was also in a lot of other bad TV shows of the late 80s and early 90s. It's kind of a fun IMDb if you ever want to look it up. Tighten the score, though, here. It scores 63-48, only 15 points separating Balrogs and Agents of Freedom, with 4 categories yet to go. We did literary lines, we did movies, horror movie starts, and actors. We're doing a freezer full of food. Questions about frozen foods. Okay. 2 points. 2 points coming up in a freezer full of food. Hand on buzzers. What would you do for one of this brand's NASCAR bars with caramel ice cream, a chocolate wafer? Sam.
Klondike.
What would you do for a Klondike bar is correct for 2 points. What would you do for NASCAR has its own Klondike bar? Seems not something I would ever buy. 4-point question. 4 points in a freezer full of food. Hands on buzzers. Celeste and Tombstone make tasty these. Elizabeth.
Pizza.
Pizzas are correct. Frozen pizzas, but pizzas are correct. Mama Celeste and good old Tombstone. All right. 6-point question. 6 points in a freezer full of food. Hands on buzzers. With varieties like blueberry and Nutri-Grain cinnamon, these waffles from Kellogg's have you going in circles. Elizabeth.
Eggos.
Eggos are correct. They're actually appropriately called Eggo, not Eggos, but Eggo is correct for 6 points. It was accepted on the show as well. 8-point question. 8 points in a freezer full of food. I can't decide between a Swanson pot pie and one of these famished brands It's Good to Be Full meals. I can't decide between Tom.
Hungry Man.
Hungry Man is the famished brand's It's Good to Be Full meals for 8 points. Nice work. And the 10-point question, which could pull this within 1 point, we'll find out. In a freezer full of food, hands on buzzers. This company's Anytizers include buffalo-style hot wings and mini chicken bites. This company's Anytizers include buffalo-style hot wings and mini chicken bites. 5 seconds. Time Thinking of frozen chicken companies, there are a few. We were looking for Tyson. Triple stumper on the show, Tyson. I will tell you, I always have anytizers in my freezer. They're delicious. They're made of winge meat. If you look really closely, they have to put a Y in the word wing because it's not actually wing meat. It's a little frightening. All right. So nobody buzzed in on the 10-point question. We're halfway through the second round, but still an 11-point game, tightening up. Thanks to some great answers from both teams and Agents of Freedom coming back. Still 3 categories to go. Our fourth category is travel and tourism. Travel and tourism. 2-point question, travel and tourism, hands on buzzers. The Murder and Mystery Tour in this Scottish capital begins at the Witchery restaurant at 352 Castle Hill. Mazur.
Edinburgh?
Edinburgh is correct for 2 points. Nice job. 2 points for Edinburgh. 4-point question, travel and tourism, hands on buzzers. In 2010, this worldwide network of vacation resorts founded by Gerard Blitz celebrated its 60th anniversary. In 2010, this worldwide, Tom.
Club Med.
Club Med is correct for 4 points, celebrated its 60th anniversary in 2010. 6-point question, travel and tourism, hands on buzzers. Key West, Florida has a lighthouse and keepers museum and a museum devoted to this novelist. Key West, Florida, Sam.
Hemingway.
Hemingway is correct for 6 points. Nice job, Sam. Got cats with lots of extra digits on their hands if you ever go there. 8-point question, 8 points, travel and tourism. From the Arabic for journey, this type of journey might take you to Botswana's Moremi Game Reserve. From the Arabic for journey, this type, Sam.
Safari.
Safari is from the Arabic for journey, correct for 8 points. Yeah, good job on the 8-point question, but you don't get to try your hand at the 10-point question. We'll see if anybody can get these 10 points. Game keeps tightening up. 10 points in travel and tourism, hands on buzzers. The beach scene at Repulse Bay is one of the attractions in the South Coast gateway to China. Tom.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is the correct city we're looking for. Nice job for 10 points. That pulls you back into the lead with a lead of 13. Just when it was tightening up, I mean, you were in the lead, but now there's a bigger lead. You know what I mean. That's the end of our fourth category. Still 2 categories to go. We'll check these last couple ones out. Our 5th category, our penultimate category, if you will, is colorful creatures. And Tom, just make sure to go back on mute. Is colorful creatures. I'm guessing these are creatures with colors involved in them. I don't know. 2 points. 2 points in colorful creatures. Hands on buzzers. During the 20th century, this largest animal on Earth was nearly hunted to extinction. During the 20th century, Peter.
Elephant, African elephant.
That is incorrect. I'm going to take away 2 points from Agents of Freedom. I'll throw it over to the Balrogs, but I'll read it for you one more time. During the 20th century, this largest animal on Earth was nearly hunted to extinction.
The blue whale.
The blue whale is correct for the steal and 2 points. And somebody else on the show said the gray elephant, but the blue whale is both colorful and the creature. Nice work for 2 points in the first question here. 4 points coming up, colorful creatures. Hands on buzzers. From its distinctive marking, this poisonous spider is also called a fiddleback, not Jerry.
Black Widow.
Black Widow is incorrect, so we'll take away 4 points, and I'm going to throw it over to Agents of Freedom. I will read the clue again, including the end of the clue, to make sure that you have a chance on this one. From its distinctive marking, this poisonous spider is also called a fiddleback, not an hourglass back.
Brown recluse.
The brown recluse is the spider that we were looking for. Nice job on the steal with 4 points. Yeah, Black Widow was the tempting answer until you got to the end of it. The brown recluse was the spider we were looking for. Who doesn't love spiders? 6 point question. 6 points. Colorful creatures. Hands on buzzers. This is the only ursine species still found in California. This is the only ursine species still found in California. 5 seconds. Jerry.
Brown bear.
Brown bear is incorrect. I'm going to take away 6 points. And I will throw it over to the Agents of Freedom. I'll read it for you one more time. It's the only ursine species still found in California.
We'll try the black bear.
The black bear is correct for 6 points. Brown and black, 2 questions in a row. Some big steals, and puts Agents of Freedom into the lead. All right, we've got an 8-point question, 8 points in colorful creatures, except for we don't. Where did that taco go? Taco's coming back. Boop, 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 boop. Surprise substitution, surprise substitution. Just when the game gets exciting, we need to jump out of colorful creatures for a minute and check out a question from a different category. Well, we've been seeing a lot of this today, but we've got another geographic question. And so our category is geographic terms, geographic terms. Remember, this is still worth 8 points, and still counts towards your buzzing total in this category. Ready for the 8-point question? Hands on buzzers. As their bordering countries are all this adjective, Liechtenstein and Uzbekistan are considered double this. As their bordering countries are all this adjective, Liechtenstein, Peter.
Landlocked.
Landlocked is correct. Those are both double landlocked countries, Liechtenstein and Uzbekistan, doubly landlocked. Nice work for the 8 points. Big point question. But we still have one more question, though, in our category of colorful creatures. Hands on buzzers for 10 points. Though it may look more of a blue hue, this is the name of the largest North American swallow. Though it may look more of a blue hue, this is the name of the largest North American swallow. 5 seconds. Time. I didn't think anybody would want to wager their 10 points on this one. It is the purple martin. The purple martin is the largest North American swallow. An old LSAT logic game about martins pops to mind with that, but that's about it. No points wagered on that one. But Agents of Freedom, with a really strong round and some great steals, pull ahead up 11 points, 90-79, with one category left, just one category for us to figure out. All right, we'll see what happens with these final 5 questions. Our last category is alliteration all around. Alliteration all around. All of these answers are going to be alliterative. If you don't know what alliterative means, you're at a disadvantage. If you do, you're at an advantage here. All right. 2-point questions. 2-point question in alliteration all around. Hands on buzzers. This 2-word term refers to someone whose tedious job requires a lot of writing and record keeping. This 2-word term refers to someone who's tedious. Elizabeth.
Pencil pusher.
A pencil pusher is the alliterative phrase we were looking for. Nice job for 2 points. Makes it 92-79. 4-point question in alliteration all around. Hands on buzzers. John Roebling designed this New York City landmark. Tom.
The Brooklyn Bridge.
The Brooklyn Bridge is the 4-point correct answer. Nice job. But working on it cost him his life. He died during the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Triple stumper on the show. 6-point question. 6 points in alliteration all around. Physicist George Smoot won a Nobel Prize for his work supporting this theory of the evolution of the universe. Sam.
Big Bang.
Big Bang is the alliterative term we're looking for. Nice job for 6 points. It's the score 98-83 with 2 questions left in alliteration all around. Hands on buzzers. This alliterative exclamation of surprise dates back way before Great Balls of Fire. It goes back to the 1700s. Cindy.
Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious is correct for 8 points. Puts our score at 91 to 98 with our final clue in alliteration all around. Hands on buzzers. To stem bleeding, use this alliterative spot where an artery lies over a bone, like in the upper arm and the top of the thigh where it meets the abdomen. Mazer.
Pressure point.
A pressure point is correct for 10 points. And that pulls you back into the lead in a very, very, very great game that came down to the final question. Final score, 101 for the Balrogs, 98 for Agents of Freedom. Great work on the game. The better news is that neither of you are going away empty-handed. Agents of Freedom, you'll be headed down to the consolation bracket where you can fight your way back, and Balrogs, you get to continue on against more challengers.
Great match, y'all.
All right, nice work. Have a good rest of your day.
Nice match, guys. Take care. Thank you.